every feeling I learned to brace before the pain. I spoke with edges in my breathing, so my heart would not remain.
But something slow began to loosen, like a thread released from stone. Not by force and not by effort, just because I wasn't alone.
You didn't ask me to let go.
You just stay soft and move slow.
I am softer than I used to be, not weaker, just more free. You didn't push my walls apart, you simply rested near my heart. And in the warmth you gave to me, I am softer than I used to be with you. I didn't know that gentle living could be stronger than defense. I didn't know that quiet presence could make all the fear make sense. You didn't ask me to be bright, you didn't hurry me to heal. You just let the silence cradle everything I couldn't feel.
You didn't try to make me rise,
You let me move in my own size. I am softer than I used to be, not weaker, just more free. You didn't push my walls apart, you simply rested near my heart. And in the warmth you gave to me, I am softer than I used to be with you.
stay with me here,
Where the quiet blooms
stay with me here,
in the gentle rooms.
stay with me here,
Stay with me here as the edges fade. Stay with me here where love is made. I am softer than I used to be, not perfect, but able to breathe. You didn't cure the broken past, you only stayed until it passed. And now my heart can finally see I am softer than I used to be with you. There was a time I ran from feeling, afraid the truth would split me wide. I held my breath through every moment, so the tears would stay inside. But now my chest opens slowly, and I can let the ache be known. It doesn't swallow me like before. It simply sits, and I am home. You didn't ask me to be clear. You just stayed year after year. I can feel without breaking now.
The pain comes soft and I allow.
You didn't fix the ache inside.
You stayed with me while it untied.
And in the quiet of your vow, I can feel without breaking now with you.
I used to think the tears meant failing,
The shaking meant I lost my ground.
but now I know that trembling gently
Is how a buried heart is found. You didn't rush me into sunlight. You didn't shame the heavy part. You let the sorrow speak in whispers till it softened in my heart. You didn't hurry me to heal. You let the truth come when it's real. I can feel without breaking now.
the pain comes soft and I allow.
You didn't fix the ache inside.
You stayed with me while it untied.
And in the quiet of your vow, I can feel without breaking now with you. Stay with me here
Where the tears are warmer,
Stay with me here.
where the heart transforms
Stay with me here.
as the edges round.
Stay with me here.
On this holy ground,
I can feel without breaking now.
not perfect but allowed.
You didn't force the fear to fade.
You just stayed and stayed and
Stayed, and now the aching feels like grace, because I'm held in this safe place. I can feel without breaking now with you. change to get it right. I pushed my heart to move too quickly, and it only made it tight.
quiet feels familiar, a gentle space I didn't know. I let my hands fall from the pressure, and I move slower than before. You didn't tell me to be fast, you only promised you would last. I don't have to rush anymore. I'm not behind, I'm not ignored. You don't measure how I heal, you just sit with what I feel, and in the tenderness you pour. I don't have to rush anymore with you. I used to think that healing faded if I didn't hold it tight, but now I know it keeps on blooming, even when I stop the fight. You didn't ask for perfect timing, you didn't pull me to my feet, you just stayed through every moment where my heart learned how to beat. You didn't hurry me to rise, you let calm enter slowly wise. I don't have to rush anymore. I'm not behind, I'm not ignored. You don't measure how I heal, you just sit with what I feel, and in the tenderness you pour. I don't have to rush anymore with you. Stay with me now, where time is kind. Stay with me now, in the open mind. Stay with me now, while the heart relearns. Stay with me now, as the patience turns. I don't have to rush anymore, not striving like before. You didn't tell me to be strong, you just stay steady and long, and now my heart is not at war. I don't have to rush anymore with you. I used to replay every moment, every word I didn't say, every feeling that I swallowed, every tear I pushed away.
I blame myself for all the hurting, as if I caused my own rain. but I was only trying to survive in a world that didn't see
my pain.
You didn't tell me to move on.
You only whispered you were strong. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner, for not being gentle with my heart. You didn't rush me out of sorrow, you simply held the breaking parts. And in your presence I can see I did the best I could just to be. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner with you. I didn't know how much I carried, how heavy memory can stay. I learned to silence every struggle, so no one saw me shake that way. But now the silence feels like refuge, not a prison I must guard. I let the younger me be held, I let her soften where she's scarred. You didn't ask me to be sure, you just stayed while I endured. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner, for not being gentle with my heart. You didn't rush me out of sorrow, you simply held the breaking parts. And in your presence I can see I did the best I could just to be. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner with you.
Stay with me here
While the blame lets go,
Stay with me here
in the soft and slow.
Stay with me here
Where compassion grows,
Stay with me here
where the gentle flows. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner, not perfect but sincere. You didn't ask me to move faster, you just stayed year after year. And now the guilt begins to fade in the warmth that you have made. I forgive myself for not knowing sooner with you.
I used to turn against myself the moment I began to feel. I tell my heart it was too fragile, as if softness couldn't heal. I learned to doubt my own reflection, to question every breath I took. But now the mirror feels more tender. I see a life inside the look. You didn't ask me to be kind. You just stayed while I changed my mind. My heart stands with me now, not against me like before. You didn't fix the broken pieces, you just kept an open door. And in the quiet of your vow, my heart stands with me now, with you. I used to fear the way I felt, as if emotions were tied. Too strong to hold, too loud to carry. So I kept running to the side. But now I stay inside the moment. I let the trembling have a place. I don't abandon who I'm becoming. I offer her a little grace. You didn't ask me to be sure. You let the healing be slow, pure. My heart stands with me now, not against me like before. You didn't fix the broken pieces, you just kept an open door. And in the quiet of your vow, my heart stands with me now, with you. Stay with me here while the trust renides. Stay with me here through familiar pain. Stay with me here as the guilt unbinds. Stay with me here where compassion finds. My heart stands with me now, not perfect but allowed. You didn't teach me how to change, you just stayed through all the strange. And now I know I'm not alone in this quiet, gentle home. My heart stands with me now. My heart stands with me now, with you. I used to ask myself for reasons why my heart deserved to stay. I kept a tally of my failures, as if love could fade that way.
I held my softness like a burden. I hid my trembling like a flaw. But now I see the quiet wonder
In the way teach me to perform. You only held me through the storm. I am worth loving as I am, not polished, not complete. You didn't wait for me to shine. You met me in defeat, and in the warmth of being seen, my heart remembered what it means. I am worth loving as I am with you. I used to think I must be better before I let myself be held. I tried to earn a love like heaven by hiding all the parts that weld. But you stay near in every shaking. You didn't ask my fear to flee. You simply sat inside the silence and called the fragile part of me. You didn't hurry me to trust. You let my healing move like dust. I am worth loving as I am, not polished, not complete. You didn't wait for me to shine. You met me in defeat, and in the warmth of being seen, my heart remembered what it means. I am worth loving as I am with you. Stay with me here where love is soft. Stay with me here where God is dropped. Stay with me here while I relearn grace. Stay with me here in this open place.
I am worth loving as I am.
No striving left to prove. You didn't fix me to be worthy. Your presence was the move, and now my heart can gently stand, held in a tender open hand. I am worth loving as I am with you. With you. I try to keep the peace in me, to hide the fracture in my being. I spoke like everything was fine, but something ached beneath the spine.
My hands were quiet in my lap, my chest a cage too tight to map. I didn't know how to reveal the broken part I couldn't heal.
But you sat still and didn't
You stayed while I came apart. You didn't rush the breaking heart. You didn't try to fix or mend. You didn't hurry me to end. You held the crack in without blame. You called my trembling by its name. You stayed while I came apart.
And I was safe.
I thought if I let sorrow rise,
It would drown the light behind my eyes. But tears came gentle, slow, and warm. Not like a flood, more like a dawn.
you didn't tell me to be brave or silence what I couldn't save. You let the shaking make it sound, the kind that barely touches ground. You didn't hurry me to stand, you simply offered me your hand. You stayed while I came apart. You didn't rush the breaking heart. You didn't try to fix or mend. You didn't hurry me to end. You held the crack in without blame. You called my trembling by its name. You stayed while I came apart. And I was safe. Now I know that breaking slow is also how a heart can grow. That letting go does not destroy, it makes room for returning joy. I do not need to be composed to be fully seen, to be known. You showed me love is staying near, not rescuing, but holding here. You never asked me to be strong, you just stayed all along. Stay with me here, where the quiet lives. Stay with me here, where the heart forgives. Stay with me here, while the soft unfolds. Stay with me here, where I am held in gentle hold. You stayed while I came apart and didn't turn away. You didn't silence what I felt. You let the sorrow stay, and now the breaking feels like peace, because I learned it brings release. You stayed while I came apart, and I am held. I am held.
I used to turn away from mirrors, afraid of what I'd have to see. I cut every quiet feeling so the truth could not find me.
I learned to swallow heavy memories, pretend the shadows weren't there.
But now the darkness feels less frightening when I let it breathe its air. You didn't force me to reveal, you just stayed until I could feel.
I'm not hiding from myself anymore,
Not running to another door. You didn't chase the pain away, you sat with me until it stayed. And in the stillness of our core, I'm not hiding from myself anymore. With you, with you.
I used to fear my own reflection, not the face but what it held.
The aching, trembling, softer edges, the stories I had never told. But now I let the silence open, I let the tears come as they will. They do not break me like they used to, they only show what's being healed.
You didn't try to make me speak,
You let my voice come when it's weak. I'm not hiding from myself anymore, not running to another door. You didn't chase the pain away, you sat with me until it stayed. And in the stillness of our core, I'm not hiding from myself anymore. With you,
stay with me here,
stay with me here.
while I am found.
Stay with me here on this gentle ground. Stay with me here as the heart unfolds. Stay with me here where truth is told.
I'm not hiding from myself anymore, not afraid of what I'm made for.
You didn't rush me into light, you held my hand through every night. And now I open like before, the softer, truer, rooty more. I'm not hiding from myself anymore, not running to another door. You didn't chase the pain away, you sat with me until it stayed. And in the stillness of our core, I'm not hiding from myself anymore. With you, with you.
as if they held the final truth. Every echo, every shadow felt like proof of what I'd lose. I carried stories that were heavy, wore them tight against my skin. I thought the past was who I was and who I'd always be within.
But you stayed in the present tense, where my heart could make new sense. The past doesn't name me anymore. It's a place I walked before. You didn't rip the pain away. You held me gently day by day, and now the memories feel like doors. The past doesn't name me anymore. With you, I used to hear my own mistakes like they were carved into my bone. But now I hear a deeper whisper saying I am not alone. You didn't rewrite where I came from. You didn't hide what hurt me still. You helped me stand inside the moment where my heart could learn to heal. You didn't hurry me to change. You let my soul expand in range. The past doesn't name me anymore. It's a place I walked before. You didn't rip the pain away. You held me gently day by day, and now the memories feel like doors. The past doesn't name me anymore. With you, stay with me here,
Where I belong,
stay with me here,
steady and strong.
stay with me here as I reclaim.
Stay with me here,
My living name. The past doesn't name me anymore. I don't fear what came before. You didn't ask me to forget. You just stayed until I met the part of me worth fighting for. The past doesn't name me anymore. With you, with you.
I spent so long feeling like a visitor inside my own chest and skin, like I was always slightly distant from the place I lived within.
I tried to fill the silent spaces with every fix I thought I knew, but nothing fit until the day I learned to sit here with you. You didn't
didn't teach me to escape. You held the room in gentle shade. My heart has come home to me. Not perfect but finally free. You didn't force the doors to open. You waited with the unspoken, and in the quiet sovereignty, my heart has come home to me. With you,
I used to fear my own reflection, not the mirror, but what it knew. The aching child who kept surviving when she had nothing left to do.
but now I place my hand upon her. I don't run or turn away. I let her tremble in my breathing, and she softens when I stay. You didn't hurry me to trust. You let it break, then turn to dust. My heart has come home to me. Not perfect but finally free. You didn't force the doors to open. You waited with the unspoken, and in the quiet sovereignty, my heart has come home to me. Stay with me here, where love is slow. Stay with me here, where roots can grow. Stay with me here as I remain. Stay with me here without the strain. My heart has come home to me. Not shining but able to be. You didn't fix the broken years. You only stayed through all the fears, and now I rest in clarity. My heart has come home to me. With you. I used to hide the trembling moments, as if a shaking made me weak. I covered every quiet shiver, afraid of letting others see.
Now I sit inside the softness. I do not run the way I did. There's something holy in the fragile, where the honest heart is hid.
You didn't ask me to be tough.
You said the tender was enough.
My fragile places are where I open, not broken, just unspoken. You didn't force the shield to fall, you simply stayed through it all. And now I breathe with what was frozen. My fragile places are where I open with you. I used to think I had to harden to earn the right to stay alive, to stand without a single shaking, to never let my tears arrive. But now I know that tears are rivers that lead me back to where I start. And softness is not where I shatter, it's how I enter my own heart.
You didn't tell me to be sure.
You let the learning slow and pure. My fragile places are where I open, not broken, just unspoken. You didn't force the shield to fall, you simply stayed through it all. And now I breathe with what was frozen. My fragile places are where I open with you.
Stay with me here,
Where I unfold,
stay with me here.
as truth is told. Stay with me here, where tears are gray. Stay with me here, in this open space.
My fragile places are where I open, not shattered,
But chosen, you didn't change me to be strong. You stayed with me all along, and now my heart stands soft and woven. My fragile places are where I open with you. I used to question every feeling, wonder if I'd slip away. I didn't know if I could hold me when the world began to sway.
I thought I had to choose between me and the softness of my heart.
But now I see they move together. They were never didn't tell me who to be. You just stayed and let me see.
I trust myself to stay.
When the trembling doesn't fade, I don't abandon who I am. When the waves begin to land, you didn't force me to be brave. You held me while the fear would shake, and now I trust myself to stay with you.
I used to run from my own shadows, afraid of what they might reveal.
I thought I had to hide the aching to prove that I could heal. But now the ache is not my enemy. It's a voice that simply calls. Stay with me here, don't turn away, even if the silence falls. You didn't ask me to be strong. You loved me slowly all along. I trust myself to stay. When the trembling doesn't fade, I don't abandon who I am. When the waves begin to land, you didn't force me to be brave. You held me while the fear would shake, and now I trust myself to stay with you. Stay with me here as I learn my name. Stay with me here through the hidden shade. Stay with me here as I return. Stay with me here while courage burns. I trust myself to stay.
Not perfect, but on my way.
You didn't rush the healing through,
You stayed until I trusted to.
and now my heart can gently say, I trust myself to stay with you. I used to guard every word I spoke, afraid of being hurt again. I sharpened tone and tightened shoulders, so no one got too close within.
But now the space inside is open.
My breath moves gentle through my chest.
The world still shifts, but I don't harden.
I learned to soften and to rest. You didn't push away my fear. You just stayed here as they're here.
I answer with love now, not defense, not pushing out.
You didn't tell me to be kind. You just stayed until I aligned. And in the peace I carry now, I answer with love now.
trust that breaks when voices tremble, expecting pain in every sound.
But now I hear the truth in quiet, the kind that only time has found. I don't need to win or prove it, I don't need to shrink or fight it. I let the moment breathe around me, and I choose gentleness as light.
You didn't tell me who to be,
You let the heart grow naturally.
I answer with love now, not defense, not pushing out.
You didn't tell me to be kind, you just stayed until I aligned. And in the peace I carry now, I answer with love now. With you,
Stay with me here, where the world feels slow.
stay with me here,
Where gentleness grows.
stay with me here,
As the heart stays true.
stay with me here,
Where love comes through.
I answer with love now, not perfect, but somehow you didn't change me with command. You held me till I could stand, and now my soul remembers how I answer with love now. With you. I used to step outside my body when the feelings got too loud. I'd float away to someplace distant, far from heart and far from sound.
I thought escape was how to save me, how to keep my core intact. But every time I disappeared, I lost a chance to just come back.
You didn't pull me into place,
You simply offered steady space. I stay with what I feel, I don't need to run or heal. You didn't force the pain to end, you just became a quiet friend. And in the stillness deep and real, I stay with what I feel. With you, I used to think that trembling meant I wasn't strong enough to stay. But now I see the body shaking is how the stored storms move away. I let my breathing find its rhythm, I let the tears come where they may. I don't abandon who I'm holding, I stay inside myself today. You didn't tell me to be brave, you sat beside me while I waved. I stay with
forced the pain to end. You just became a quiet friend. And in the stillness deep and real, I stay with what I feel. With you. Stay with me here in the slow unfold. Stay with me here where the body holds. Stay with me here where the truth is near. Stay with me here, nothing to fear. I stay with what I feel, not perfect but it's real. You didn't ask me to transform, you kept the moment safe and warm. And now my heart has learned to heal. I stay with what I feel. With you.
There were nights I felt so distant from my own breath, from my own name. I moved through rooms like I was missing something quiet, something unnamed.
I didn't know that what I longed for was a presence I could feel.
Not in voices, not in answers, but in a love that stays and heals. You didn't come with blazing light. You simply sat with me at night. I'm not alone inside myself anymore. There is someone at my core. You didn't tell the fear to leave. You held me softly while I grieved. And now my heart has an open door. I'm not alone inside myself anymore. With you.
I used to think fill the spaces I couldn't bear.
But every comfort came and faded. No one stayed, no one was there. But you were quiet, still and steady, not demanding to be seen. You didn't ask for me to notice. You just stayed inside the unseen. You didn't hurry me to trust. You let love settle from the dust. I'm not alone inside myself anymore. There is someone at my core. You didn't tell the fear to leave. You held me softly while I grieved. And now my heart has an open door. I'm not alone inside myself anymore. With you, stay with me here in the gentle deep. Stay with me here as the old wounds sleep. Stay with me here where the quiet grows. more before. You didn't fix me all at once. You stayed through every little tense, and now I know what love is for. I'm not alone, not anymore. With you, with you. Ooh. I used to search for something shiny in every voice and every face. I thought my hope lived somewhere forward, somewhere else, some other place.
But now I stand inside my silence and feel a warmth beneath my ribs.
Not loud, not bright, not overwhelming, just a gentle flame that lives. You didn't bring the light to me.
You helped me see it quietly.
The light was always mine. I just needed space and time. You didn't push the dark away. You sat with me until the day I felt the glowing in my spine. The light was always mine. With you, I used to think I must be rescued, saved by something strong and sure. But now I know the softest presence is the one that makes me pure. Not by fixing, not by forcing, not by changing who I am, just by staying through the trembling as the spark became a flame. You didn't hurry me to shine.
You let the warmth unfold in time.
The light was always mine. I just needed space and time. You didn't push the dark away. You sat with me until the day I felt the glowing in my spine. The light was always mine. Stay with me here where the warmth grows slow. Stay with me here where the soft hearts know. Stay with me here as the glow expands. Stay with me here where love still stands. The light was always
beside me in the night, and now I shine in my own design. The light was always mine. With you, there were days I walked away from me, left my heart to ache alone. I thought disappearing made me safer than staying in a breaking bone. But now I sit with every feeling, even when the road is loud. I lay a hand across my chest and let my breath unclench the sound. You didn't tell me to be strong, you just stayed and stayed alone. I won't leave myself again. Now when the trembling starts within, you didn't drag the pain away. You sat with me through every day, and now I know how to remain. I won't leave myself again. With you, I used to run from every heartbeat. If it got heavy, I would hide. I thought abandonment was safety, until it hollowed me inside. But now I stay when I feel shaken. I let the softness have a place. I do not walk away from hurting, I offer it a gentle space. You didn't hurry me to trust, you let love rise from quiet dust. I won't leave myself again. Now when the trembling starts within, you didn't drag the pain away. You sat with me through every day, and now I know how to remain. I won't leave myself again. With you, stay with me here as I learn to stand. Stay with me here while I hold myself so carefully, afraid of what someone might see. The cracks beneath the steady face, the silent ache I tried to chase. I learned to breathe in measured form, to keep my heart from open storm, to wrap my wounds in quiet cloth, pretend they never hurt at all. But you saw the shake before I ever let it break. I didn't know I was allowed to break without losing all I am. I didn't know that falling slow could land me in your hands. You didn't tell me to be strong, you just stayed there all along. I didn't know I was allowed to break and still be held.
I thought the tears would swallow me. I thought the pain was too heavy. I didn't know that sorrow's weight could loosen slowly, not suffocate.
You didn't push the crying out, you didn't fill my mind with doubt. You let the silence have its place, you let the breaking come with grace. You didn't rush the ache to end, you only breathed like a friend. I didn't know I was allowed to break without losing all I am. I didn't know that falling slow could land me in your hands. You didn't tell me to be strong, you just stayed there all along. I didn't know I was allowed to break and still be held. Now I break in gentler ways, not in hiding, not in haze. The tears fall warm instead of sharp, they do not tear my chest apart. And you are here in every breath, no rush to finish, no fear of death. The breaking doesn't mean I'm lost, it means I'm loved at any cost. You never asked me to be whole, you only held my trembling soul. Stay with me here while I learn release. Stay with me here in the quiet peace. Stay with me here while the tears come slow. Stay with me here while I learn to let go. I didn't know I was allowed to break, but you stayed through every part. You didn't try to stop the ache, you just stayed inside my heart. And now the breaking feels like grace, because I do not break in space. I didn't know I was allowed to break and still be loved. But I am think that love was something I had to earn with flawless grace, that I must hide the aching pieces to keep them tucked in a safe place.
But now I lay my hand upon them, the tender shaking old remains.
I do not rush them into changing. I let them breathe, I let them stay. You didn't tell me to be whole. You held the trembling of my soul. I love myself quietly now, not loudly, but somehow the gentleness was always there underneath the silent prayer. I did not learn this overnight. It grew slowly, soft and slight. I love myself quietly now with you.
I do not fight the way I'm feeling.
I do not shame the heart I hold.
I let the sadness take its moment.
I let the longing just unfold.
There's something sacred in the slowing,
in letting softness guide the way. I do not leave myself when crying. I stay inside, I choose to stay. You didn't hurry me to rise. You let love open in its eyes. I love myself quietly now, not loudly, but somehow the gentleness was always there underneath the silent prayer. I did not learn this overnight. It grew slowly, soft and slight. I love myself quietly now with you. Stay with me here in the open heart. Stay with me here where the softened start. Stay with me here as I remain. Stay with me here through every strain. I love myself quietly now, and I don't need to know how. You didn't change me with a word. You stayed until my heart was hurt, and now I breathe without the vow. I love myself quietly now with you. I used to chase a quiet moment, as if peace was far from me.
through days with heavy breathing, trying hard to feel set free.
But now the stillness feels familiar. It's not something I must earn.
It rises gently from inside me, like a candle with a steady burn. You didn't tell me to be calm. You became my steady palm. Peace comes naturally now.
Not sudden, I don't know how.
You didn't force the storm to cease. You just stayed until it turned to peace. And in the quiet where I bow, peace comes naturally now. With you.
Don't abandon when I'm shaking. I let the trembling have its name.
I don't escape the waves of feeling. I stand inside them all the same. And in the center there is softness, not the kind that breaks and falls, but the kind that holds my body when the wider world feels tall. You didn't hurry me to rest. You let it open in my chest. Peace comes naturally now. Not sudden, I don't know how. You didn't force the storm to cease. You just stayed until it turned to peace. And in the quiet where I bow, peace comes naturally now. With you.
Stay with me here where the slow unfolds. Stay with me here where the warm heart holds. Stay with me here
As the breath sinks deep,
Stay with me
here where the soul can sleep, peace comes naturally now.
Not perfect but allowed.
You didn't change me all at once. You loved me through the heavy months, and now my heart can gently vow, peace comes naturally now. With you. I used to love with tight shoulders, trying so hard not to lose.
held affection like a burden, like something fragile I must prove.
Every heartbeat felt like effort. Every closeness felt like strain.
I thought love was constant labor, to avoid more hidden pain. You didn't tell me to be free. You just stayed and sat with me. Love doesn't exhaust me anymore. It doesn't ache like before. You didn't change the way I feel. You just taught me how to heal. And in the quiet of my core, love doesn't exhaust me anymore. With you,
I don't have to hold so tightly to be seen or to belong.
I let affection come so gently, like a slow familiar song. I don't fear the soft unfolding. I don't brace for hurt or blame. I let love move like running water, not something I must claim. You didn't hurry me to trust. You let it build from gentle dust. Love doesn't exhaust me anymore. It doesn't ache like before. You didn't change the way I feel. You just taught me how to heal. And in the quiet of my core, love doesn't exhaust me anymore. With you,
Stay with me.
within its flows.
Stay with me here.
As the heart now knows,
Stay with me here.
where the peace is true. Stay with me here, where love moves through. Love doesn't exhaust me anymore. I am open at the core. You didn't break me to be kind. You held the trembling of my mind, and now my heart is not at war. Love doesn't exhaust me anymore. With you, with you. I used to tighten every feeling, afraid the tenderness would spill. I learned to brace my every heartbeat, to hold the softness very still.
But now I breathe into the aching. I let the quiet make its way. I don't abandon when
myself today. You didn't ask me to be strong. You stayed with me however long.
I stay soft even when it hurts. I don't close the door to pain. You didn't push the dark aside. You held me gently in the strain. And in the warmth of all you are, I learned to love each fragile part. I stay soft even when it hurts with you.
I used to fear the quiet moments, the ones that made me feel too much. But now I know that in the trembling there is a grace inside the touch. The wounds don't need to go unanswered. They need a place to simply be.
And you have shown me how to hold them without losing any piece of me.
You didn't hurry me to heal. You let me move at what was real.
I stay soft even when it hurts.
I don't close the door to pain.
You didn't push the dark aside. You held me gently in the strain.
And in the warmth of all you are, I learned to love each fragile part. I stay soft even when it hurts with you. Stay with me here in the tender slow. Stay with me here where the soft hearts grow. Stay with me here as the tears come through. Stay with me here where love is true. I stay soft even when it hurts, not fearless but immersed. You didn't change me to be still. You taught me how to gently feel. And now my heart can say it first. I stay soft even when it hurts with you. With you. I used to hold my breath for safety, afraid the feeling was too strong. I lived in spaces made of silence, pretending nothing could go wrong.
But now I feel the air move through me. Not rushed, not forced, just calm and slow.
I didn't heal from sudden thunder. I healed by learning how to go.
You didn't ask me to be brave. You just stayed when I unraveled. I learned to breathe again, not all at once, but now and then. You didn't take the pain away. You sat beside me day by day, and in the quiet oxygen I learned to breathe again with you. I used to run from my own heartbeat, like it was something I should hide.
But now I place my hand upon it and let it echo from inside.
The shaking doesn't mean I'm breaking. It means the frozen parts of thought. And in the warmth of being present, I can meet the buried child of God.
You didn't hurry me to heal. You held the truth of what was real. I learned to breathe again, not all at once, but now and then. You didn't take the pain away. You sat beside me day by day, and in the quiet oxygen I learned to breathe again with you. Stay with me, Shman, in the tender slow. Stay with me here, where the soft hearts grow. Stay with me here, as the tears unwind. Stay with me here, with the open mind.
I learned to breathe again, without the rush of who I've been.
You didn't change me with a word.
You stayed until my heart was hurt, and now I live in gentle skin.
I learned to breathe again with you, with you. I thought healing would be thunder, something blazing through my chest. I waited for a loud arrival, for a triumph, for a crest. But it came like early morning, barely seen and barely felt. Just a loosening in the shoulders, just a softening where I knelt. You didn't tell me to begin. You waited for me from within. I found myself in the quiet room where nothing needed to be said. You didn't ask me to be steady, you just stayed beside my dread. And in the calm I didn't choose, I learned I had less to lose. I found myself in the quiet room with you.
I
used to fear the empty spaces. I thought silence meant I failed, but now I see the unseen places, or where the truest things are held.
The heart grows wild and rushing, but it flowers when it slows. We are gardens, not explosions, and the gentle water knows. You didn't hurry me to trust. You let me rise from tender dust. In the quiet room where nothing needed to be said. You didn't ask me to be steady, you just stayed beside my dread. And in the calm I didn't choose, I learned I had less to lose. I found myself in the quiet room with you. Stay where the hush is whole,
stay where the body knows,
stay where the breathing moves
softly, slow and close.
Stay where the light is low,
stay where the heart is warm.
Stay with me here where love
takes form.
I found myself in the quiet room,
not safe but allowed to bloom.
You didn't change the world I see, you changed what the world sees in me. And now I do not fear the bloom. I found myself in the quiet room with you. I walked for years without noticing the stones gathered in my chest. Not pain exactly, not sorrow either, just a pressure I called doing my best. I never thought to stop and listen, I never learned to ask, is this mine? I kept collecting unspoken burdens, like a thread pulling through time. You didn't tell me to lay it down, you let me feel the shape of the crown. This is the weight I didn't know I carry. Not heavy, just constant, just there. You didn't take it from my shoulders, you helped me learn how to share. And in the quiet of being seen, some of it loose and some came clean. This is the weight I didn't know I carried until you were there.
There were days I felt so exhausted, without knowing what wore me thin. The world never asked me to crumble, yet I kept crumbling within.
I had learned to keep the smile steady, to keep the rooms bright and clear. But in the corners of my breathing, something whispered, you can be sincere. You didn't ask me to be small. You held the places I let fall. This is the weight I didn't know I carried. Not heavy, just constant, just there. You didn't take it from my shoulders. You helped me learn how to share. And in the quiet of being seen, some of it loose and some came clean. This is the weight I didn't know I carried until you were there. Stay with me while I unwind. Stay with me
as I unwind.
Stay with me as I relearn
The gentleness for which I yearn.
Stay with me as I unwear the masks I had to wear.
Stay with me
In open air I am allowed to be aware. This is the weight I didn't know I carried, and now I don't carry it alone. You didn't demand that I be ready. You simply gave me room to come home. And now the space within my chest has room for breath, for quiet rest. This is the weight I didn't know I carried, and now I know. I was walking through a quiet evening. Nothing planned, nothing to do, when I felt a stirring in my chest, like someone softly calling through.
It wasn't grief and it wasn't longing. It was something small and shy, like a hand that once was trembling, reaching up to meet my eye.
You didn't say a word or sign, you just stood with me in time.
I met the child I left behind, the one who learned to disappear. You didn't ask her to be strong, you didn't pull her into cheer. You let her stand just as she was, uncertain, quiet, undefined. And in that stillness, soft and true, I met the child I left behind with you. She didn't speak, she didn't question. She just looked like she had waited long. Not for rescue, not for saving, just to know she wasn't wrong.
Wrong for feeling too much fullness, wrong for trembling when she cared, wrong for breaking when she needed someone real to just
be there. You didn't rush her into joy. You honored every ache and void. I met the child I left behind, the one who hid herself to cope. You didn't tell her to be brave. You simply made a space for hope. And in that moment something shifted, quiet, tender, realigned. I didn't heal her, I just held her. I met the child I left behind with you. Stay with me where small hearts breathe. Stay with me where none must leave. Stay with me while old wounds clear. Stay with me, I'm finally here. I met the child I left behind, and she's not hidden anymore. You didn't fix her broken pieces, you just opened up a door. Now when I breathe for two. The one I was, the one I grew. And in the quiet intertwine, I met the child I left behind with you. I used to beg my heart to open, to be faster, to be clear. I try to rush my own unfolding, as if growth could ignore fear. I pull the petals of my being, hoping beauty came from force. But every time I tried to hurry, I only drifted from my source. You didn't ask me to become, you waited for the becoming to come. I stopped forcing my own bloom, I let the seasons have their room. You didn't tear the winter down, you stood with me inside the brown. And in the soil of slow and true, life rose quiet as anew. I stopped forcing my own bloom with you.
I thought healing meant achievement, something measured, something won. But now I see it's more like water, moving softly toward the sun.
The heart won't bloom because it's told to. It blooms when safety finally stays. And you became the steady presence that let my roots reach through the clay. You didn't hurry me to rise, you let me meet my own surprise. I stopped forcing my own bloom, I let the seasons have their room. You didn't tear the winter down, you stood with me inside the brown. And in the soil of slow and true, life rose quiet
night. Stay with me here in the undesigned. Stay with me here where roots take hold. Stay with me here where growth is bold. I stopped forcing my own bloom. I trust the patience of the room. You didn't change me overnight. You kept a candle through the night. And now my heart in gentle plume opens like a quiet room with you. I used to treat my quiet moments like something I had to earn. Rest was only for the finished, for the lesson I must learn. But my body carried stories that no schedule could contain, and I kept moving just to outrun what was asking to remain. You didn't tell me to be still. You let my breathing find its will. Rest became a place I was allowed to go. Not a failure, not a no. You didn't ask me to be done. You didn't measure what I'd want. You held the part that needed slow. Rest became a place I was allowed to go with you.
I used to fear the quiet hours, as if the silence made me weak. But in the hush I found a softness I had forgotten I could seek.
Some days I do not move as quickly, and I no longer call it wrong. The heart grows steady in the love, not only in the doing strong.
You didn't hurry me to heal. You let the resting become real.
Rest became a place I was allowed to go. Not a failure, not a no. You didn't ask me to be done. You didn't measure what I'd want. You held the part that needed slow. Rest became a place I was allowed to go with you. Stay with me here in the quiet ground. Stay with me here where peace is found. Stay with me here where I don't strive. Stay with me here where I feel alive.
Rest became a place I was allowed to go.
A gentle yes, a softer flow. You didn't clear the sky of rain. You sat with me through every strain, and now my heart has room to slow. Rest is a place I know with you.
stand a little taller than the child I felt inside. I tried to speak like I was older than the heart I had to hide. My voice was calm, my face composed, but underneath the smallest ghost was shaking quietly, asking slow, am I too fragile to be shown? And you didn't look away from the part of me that couldn't stay. I was small inside my chest, but you held me like you knew that the little girl beneath my ribs still needed to be cradled too. You didn't ask her to be grown, you didn't leave her there alone. I was small inside my chest, and you stayed. I learned to hush the quiet shaking, to bury softness, to be okay, to act like nothing ever broke me, to never show I needed grace. But when the childhood ache returned, it didn't bring the fire that burned, just tiny hands inside my heart asking if they could fall apart. You didn't rush the trembling hand, you simply sat and let me stand. I was small inside my chest, but you held me like you knew that the little girl beneath my ribs still needed to be cradled too. You didn't ask her to be grown, you didn't leave her there alone. I was small inside my chest, and you stayed.
Slower rhythm, the child in me is not dismissed. She's learning gentle, learning safety, learning love was never missed.
I don't have to guard her tightly or pretend she isn't there, because you love her as you love me, with the same unhurried care. You never asked me to be strong. You just stay with me here, where the child can rest. Stay with me here while she learns what's best. Stay with me here in the soft undone. Stay with me here till the healing's won. I was small inside my chest, but you didn't turn away. You didn't ask me to grow fast or be a certain way. You held the smallest part of me with patience, love, and dignity. I was small inside my chest, and I am safe. I used to hold the sky together, thinking everything would fall if I let my hand
sound unbroken. I kept my breathing sharp and tight.
I learned to smile without the warmth, to keep my truth just out of sight. You didn't ask me to be whole. You let me name the aching soul. I don't need to hold the sky anymore. It doesn't need my strength to stay. You didn't come to build me higher. You sat beside me in the sway and in the trembling of my core. I don't need to hold the sky anymore with you.
There were days I carried thunder,
Quiet storms behind my ribs.
no one knew the weight I managed.
Not even I could call it his.
But truth is softer than the shadows,
And rest is deeper than the sun.
and I can let the world keep turning,
Even when I come undone.
You didn't hurry me to trust. You let my armor gather dust. I don't need to hold the sky anymore.
It doesn't need my strength to stay. You didn't come to build me higher. You sat beside me in the sway and in the trembling of my core. I don't need to hold the sky anymore with you. Let the sky stand on its own. Let my heart return home. Let the weight fall to the floor. I don't have to hold it anymore. Let the breath move slow and sure. Let the softness become cure. Let the body not be war. I don't need to hold the sky anymore. I don't need to hold the sky anymore. It was never mine to keep. You didn't teach me to be stronger. You taught me how to finally weep. And now my heart is not at war. I don't need to hold the sky anymore with you. I used to move from room to room, from thought to thought, from skin to skin, as if belonging was a doorway I could simply wander in. I tried to build myself in echoes, tried to mirror what was praised. I shaped myself to fit the moment, never asking what was raised. You didn't tell me who to be. You made space for the part that was me. I learned to stay where my heart actually lives, not where I'm seen, not where I give. You didn't pull me into light. You sat with me through every night, and in that stillness no one's dries. with you.
I used to leave myself behind, even while I was in the room, speaking words that weren't my language, wearing joy that held no bloom.
But now I feel the quiet center, like a warm and steady flame. And I don't run from who I'm holding, I call my own self by her name. You didn't hurry me to trust, you let my running turn to dust. I learned to stay where my heart actually lives, not where I'm seen, not where I give. You didn't pull me into light, you sat with me through every night. And in that stillness no one strives. I learned to stay where my heart actually leaves, with you. Stay with me here in the gentle return. Stay with me here where I finally learn. Stay with me here, no need for display. Stay with me here, I'm allowed to stay. I learned to stay where my heart actually leaves, where breath is slow and nothing gives. You didn't fix me to be new, you made room for what was true. And now the ground beneath me forgives. I learned to stay where my heart actually leaves, with you. I used to wait for certainty, for promises carved in stone. I needed something to anchor me before I'd let my guard be shown. But life is made of moving water, shifting light and open doors. And I realize the heart grows hollow when it's always keeping score. You didn't promise me no pain, you taught me love is not a chain. I love without knowing the ending now, not fearless, just honest somehow. You didn't make the future clear, you stayed beside the trembling fear. And in the letting go of how I love without knowing the ending now, with you. I used to measure every feeling like a risk that must be weighed. But the deepest things we care for aren't decisions
quiet, tender calls. They are standing in the doorway when you're scared the sky might fall. You didn't ask me to be brave. You showed me love is what we save. I love without knowing the ending now. Not fearless, just honest somehow. You didn't make the future clear. You stayed beside the trembling fear, and in the letting go of how I love without knowing the ending now. With you, stay in the open heart where nothing has to start. Stay where the fragile shows, where only quiet knows. Stay where the truth is felt, where every guard can melt. Stay where I don't need proof. Stay in the simple truth. I love without knowing the ending now. No script, no vow, no guiding vow. You didn't ask me to stand strong. You only stayed with me this long, and in the gentle sacred vow, I love without knowing the ending now. With you. There were days I thought the only way was to close the door behind my pain, to fold myself into something smaller, something quiet, something plain. I learned to move without my edges, to speak without my deepest tone. I believed that strength was silence, and that softness stood alone. You didn't ask me to be strong. You let me find where I belong. I did not harden to survive. I stayed open, I stayed alive. You didn't build me into steel. You showed me how to truly feel. And in the trembling of my drive, I did not harden to survive with you.
There were nights I thought endurance was the only proof of worth, that if I kept my voice from shaking, I could stand my ground on earth. But now I see the trembling body is not weakness, it's the door. It's the place my spirit opens to become and to restore. You didn't hurry me to trust. You let my armor turn to dust. I did not harden to survive. I stayed open, I stayed alive. You didn't build me into steel. You showed me how to truly feel. And in the trembling of my drive, I did not harden to survive with you. Let the body breathe slow. Let the old fears go. Let the wounds be seen. Let the heart stay clean. Let the tears fall light. Let the softness be right. Let the soul
did not harden to survive. My softness is where I'm alive. You didn't ask me to be more. You stayed with me at my core, and now the gentle can revive. I did not harden to survive with you. I did not harden to survive. I spent years rehearsing who to be, choosing words that sounded right, holding my breath in every room, arranging myself in perfect light. I tried to make my presence worthy, as if love was something weighed. But every version I performed was another place I stayed afraid.
You didn't praise the mask I wore.
You waited at the deeper door. I don't have to earn the love I receive. I can rest, I can breathe. You didn't ask me to be less, or to shrink to fit the guess. In the quiet where I simply leave all the proving, all the weave. I don't have to earn the love I receive with you.
I thought affection was a contract, a balance kept, a score to show. But love is not a note exchange, it is something that can grow.
And I am not a polished statue, I am soft and flawed and real. And somehow in that trembling truth I found a place to feel. You did not hurry me to trust. You let the mask turn into dust. I don't have to earn the love I receive. I can rest, I can breathe. You didn't ask me to be less, or to shrink to fit the guess. In the quiet where I simply leave all the proving, all the weave. I don't have to earn the love I receive with you. With you. Let the effort fall away, let the truth have room to stay. Let the heart show what is real, let the body learn to feel. Let the old rules lose their claim, let the soul reclaim its name. Let the warm air interweave. I don't have to earn the love I receive. I don't have to earn the love I receive. I am here, I believe. You didn't fix me to be new, you just stayed until I knew. And now my heart can finally see I don't have to earn the love I receive with you.
words I thought would stay. Certain voices, certain hands. I thought time would hold them gently, like unbroken shifting sands. But life is full of quiet endings, doors that close without a sound. And I learned to miss in silence, where no comfort could be found. You didn't tell me to move on. You let me know what's gone is gone. The space that remains still holds warmth, even where the ache was born. You didn't fill the empty room, you didn't chase away the gloom. But in the quiet after storm, the space that remains still with you.
I don't pretend it didn't matter. I don't rewrite what I have known. But grief is not a final winter, just a season passing through the bone. And memory can hold a blessing without erasing what was real. And I can't let the echoes stay without asking it to heal. You didn't hurry me to mend. You let the longing be a friend. The space that remains still holds warmth, even where the ache was born. You didn't fill the empty room, you didn't chase away the gloom. But in the quiet after storm, the space that remains still holds with you. Let the echo stay kind, let the silence remind, let the heart not erase, let there still be a place. Let the love that once stayed honor all it conveyed. Let the room keep its form, the space that remains still holds warmth. The space that remains still holds warmth. Not the same but not forlorn. You didn't try to make it new, you stayed with me as I came through. And now I live where both can form, the space that remains still holds warmth with you.
I've lived so long with hidden intention, a quiet tremor in my chest. I learned to carry every sorrow, never stopping for rest. My hands would shake beneath the surface, but no one ever saw them shake. I held my breath until it hurt me, afraid that breaking was a mistake. But you stayed near, without demanding I be clear. I let the quiet hold me, and you didn't turn away. You didn't tell me to be stronger or chase the ache away. You let the silence soften me like light across a gentle sea. I let the quiet hold me, and I was safe.
I thought the stillness meant I failed. I thought the quiet meant I broke. I feared if I stopped holding tightly, my heart would vanish into smoke. But when my breathing found its trembling, you didn't press, you didn't push. You let me take a fragile moment to feel the softness in the hush. You didn't rush the change to come. You simply whispered, it's enough. I let the quiet hold me, and you didn't turn away. You didn't tell me to be stronger or chase the ache away. You let the silence soften me like light across a gentle sea. I let the quiet hold me, and I was safe. Now I breathe in deeper rhythms, not the sharp and frantic kind. My chest expands without collapsing. There is more room inside my mind. The quiet isn't something heavy. It's where my tired heart can stay. And now I know the gentle breaking is simply love that finds its way. You never asked me to be strong. You just stayed all along. Stay with me here, where the soft is deep. Stay with me here, where the fragile sleep. Stay with me here, in the gentle slow. Stay with me here, while I learn to let go. I let the quiet hold me, and I didn't fall apart. You held the space where I was trembling. You stayed inside my heart, and now the stillness feels like grace, a healing
was somehow how I kept my shame.
I didn't know that pain grows heavier when kept beneath a steady face. I didn't know how much it tired me
to always hold it all in place.
But you came near without demanding I be clear. I didn't have to hold the pain alone. You sat with me, you didn't ask for explanation or call it unbelief. You let the trembling stay in place. You gave my breaking room and space. I didn't have to hold the pain alone.
You stayed.
I used to think that strength meant silence, that healing meant I didn't cry. But every time I swallow sorrow, it only grew louder tight.
And when it finally reached the surface, you didn't fix or wipe away. You let the tears fall slow and honest. You let them mean what they needed to say.
You didn't tell me to be done. You whispered, take this one. I didn't have to hold the pain alone. You sat with me, you didn't ask for explanation or call it unbelief. You let the trembling stay in place. You gave my breaking room and space. I didn't have to hold the pain alone. You stayed. Now the ache is soft inside, not gone, but open, dignified. A living room for gentle breathing, a place where sorrow isn't hiding. I do not fear the tears that come. They fall like prayer, like quiet hum. Because I know when they appear, I will not be alone here. You never asked me to be strong. You just stayed all alone. Stay with me here, where the heart unfolds. Stay with me here, while the sorrow holds. Stay with me here, in the quiet tone. Stay with me here. I am not alone. I didn't have to hold the pain alone. You stayed through every part. You didn't silence what I felt. You sat inside my heart, and now the trembling feels like grace, because it's held in a safe place. I didn't have to hold the pain alone. I am held. I am held.
was falling through the dark with no ground underneath. Every breath was heavy, every thought was grief. I was reaching out for something that could hold, but the world felt distant and the nights were cold. I tried to stand but my knees gave in. The weight was too much for the strength within. I didn't cry out loud, I didn't speak, but you knew my spirit had grown weak. And you came close, so close I could breathe again. You caught me when I fell, you didn't let me go to hell. You didn't ask me to be strong, you just held me all night long. When I had nothing left to tell, you caught me when I fell.
I thought I had to save myself to be worthy of love, but you showed me grace descends from above. Not earned, not chased, not performed or proved, just given softly when the walls finally moved. You didn't fear the mess inside my chest, you didn't turn away from the unrest. You sat with me in the quiet ache until the pain began to break. You didn't tell me to survive, you just stayed by my side. You caught me when I fell, you didn't let me go to hell. You didn't ask me to be strong, you just held me all night long. When I had nothing left to tell, you caught me when I fell. Ooh. Some days I still feel the tremble inside, but now I know I don't have to hide. You didn't heal me in a single breath, but you walked me back from the edge of death. You didn't promise I'd never break again, but you promised I'd never break alone. My friend, that was the miracle I didn't expect. Not a cure, but a love that never left. I don't have to climb, I'm already held in time. You caught me when I fell, you didn't let me go to hell. You didn't ask me to be strong, you just held me all night long. When I had nothing left to tell, you caught me when I fell. Stay with me here, stay with me here. I am learning not to fear. Stay with me here, stay with me here. Let the healing draw me near. You caught me when I fell, and you're still holding me well. I don't need to understand it all, I know who answers when I call. You caught me when I fell, and I am
am held, I am